mitrasaṃprāpti, the initial stages of mitrasaṃprāpti, where it has been told that the king, Chitragriva, as we all saw in the story 2 weeks ago, he took the responsibility of the mistake. He admitted that it's a collective mistake. He did not start blaming anyone. And when the time was ripe for release, he did not release himself first. He could have guaranteed his safety rather than his followers, but he preferred to safeguard the interests of his followers, and then he saved himself with the help of his friend. And all this interaction between the mouse and the pigeon, these are naturally friends because they don't have any cause for enmity. Both of them live in a very scavenger way, and they try to collect, and they don't have a natural enmity between them. So they were friends since a very long time. Now, this entire conversation, this entire incident was observed by this Vayasa, by this crow. His name was Laghupatanaka. If you have forgotten this, the first initial 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it takes time to jog up the memory, because these names are very unusual names. So Laghupatanaka, and we will get to know why he was called as Laghupatanaka in today's half of the story. Laghupatanaka was observing all of this. Until this point, he was considered as one of the best minds in and around his big banyan tree. If you remember where they all stayed, in that tree, he was known to be the best mind around. Now he is witnessing something unusual, which he has never witnessed before. First and foremost, he saw a bunch of pigeons, a flock of pigeons getting caught in the trap. Even though he tried to stop them, they did not listen to him, and they all got stuck in the trap. And he did witness something miraculous, how all of them, they put their effort together and they flew with the trap, and they went to their friend, and the mouse, Hiranyaka, helped them to escape. So this was, he understood, Laghupatanaka immediately understood the value of a friend. You should always invest in good friends. So if we have to invest in good friends, we need to know how good they are. And Laghupatanaka was good in observation. So after he observed that, he talked to himself. Now, this is the point where we have to begin today's session. So he talked to himself. He said that I'm self-sufficient, by the way. Laghupatanaka was not an idiot. Laghupatanaka was not a dumb bird. He knew what he was doing. He was well aware of in and around. He was well aware of all the affairs that were going on around himself. So he was not in any grave danger that he required a friend. Now, this point needs to be understood, and one must note down this point, because he was not under any obligation. It was not inevitable for him. He was not desperate. There was no room for desperation for Laghupatanaka. And in spite of all these things, he was going to seek a friend. Now, this is how you seek a friend, from a point of strength. You are seeking a friend from a point of strength rather than you seeking a friend from the point of weakness. When you seek a friend, by friend, I don't mean coffee kude kogana baguru kind of friends. It's not like tea chapri wala friends. No, not that kind of friends. This is diplomatic relationships that we are talking about. Nation to nation, kingdom to kingdom. When a kingdom is supposed to, go for this sort of a relationship, this sort of a friendship, when should they approach the other kingdom? Not from the point of weakness. That is the point that the storyteller, Narayana is trying to tell us, isn't it? So these are some of the subtle points that usually people miss out while studying Panchatantra. It's not merely about what the crow did, what the mouse did, what the pigeons did. When you approach somebody for a friendship, you should always be in a place of equality that we are going to discuss. Now, today's initial topic for the first half is to be or not to be, on similar lines, whether to make friends or not to make friends. With whom should we make friends? With whom should we not make friends? So all these points are so beautifully narrated, are so subtly put in this story. Let us see. So he thought to himself first. He decided whether he should pursue this path or not, whether he should put up a proposal to Hiranyaka or not. Now, the logic that Laghupatanaka came up with is quite astounding. To be honest, it's quite astounding, because I myself had never seen a self-sufficient fellow. When a country is self-sufficient, this has always been the political debate. You can go and see this. When a country is self-sufficient, should they or should they not approach for a diplomatic relationship with another country, even if they are of the same stature. Like however strong we are, they are also of, almost on similar lines. Should we or should we not approach them? Now, just take a look at this particular shloka where this was being churned by Laghupatanaka in his own mind. He is not speaking to anybody. He's thinking within himself. Api sampurnata yuktaihi. Even when somebody is self-sufficient, kartavya suhrudo budhaihi. He is giving a conclusion for us that one needs to make friends. Okay, agreed. But we are not convinced yet. We are agreed. We have an agreement, initial agreement, but we are not convinced yet. So convince us. Tell us, why should we have a friend? Why should we approach for a friendship with another kingdom when we are already self-sufficient? He gives an analogy. He gives an example. He says that Nadishav paripurnopi. Take a look at the ocean. The ocean is self-sufficient. It does not need anything from anybody. It is self-sufficient, by the way. And yet, Chandrodayam apekshat. We all know when we visit an ocean, if it is during the full moon, if we are going to visit the ocean, if we are going to observe the ocean during the full moon, we can easily make out the fact that the ocean looks even more magnificent during a full moon day. So it's not like on all other days it looks very pale and weak and disturbed. It looks the same on other days as well. But it's just that it has got something extra on the full moon day. And the Nadisha, that is the ocean, keeps expecting the full moon day. He looks forward to the full moon day. Likewise, a self-sufficient kingdom should look forward to enhance their position, to make them even more marvelous, to make them even more good and even more grander than what they already are. In that situation, one must put up a proposal for a friendship. This was the logic that he provided, and now he's ready to put up the proposal. Let's see how he goes forth about his proposal. And this is a lesson. This is another lesson. The next half is another lesson in diplomatic conversation. During my PhD days, this was one of my favorite subjects. Diplomatic relationships, they all stand on dialogues. Like, what kind of conversation two people are having. By the way, it's only the people who run it. We may have all the resources, the natural resources we have, human resources we have, other machinery resources we have. Even if we have all the resources, it's the person who represents all these resources who matters the most. I mean, this is what the business schools will teach young minds when they tell that when during mergers and all those things, when two businesses have to merge, they will tell that the point person needs to be the strong one. He needs to be a good negotiator. And I have heard that people, big companies, they hire good negotiators. And they don't have any fancy degree. They are good in conversation. They know how to initiate that conversation. They know how to get that deal done. I know this sounds like not like a Panchatantra class, but more like a business sermon. But pardon me, but these are some of the jargon that we have to use. Right. So Laghupatanaka goes about his conversation with Hiranyaka. He calls him so confidently. He has not met him at all. Now, there are plenty of analysts who keep an eye on this. Like, what kind of words is a political leader or a representative of a nation is using? And if somebody is interested in that field, they must pursue that field, because it combines two of the adversary fields together: literature and political science. It brings together, because only the study of literature enables one to observe each and every word that is used in a conversation. Just take a look at the line that Laghupatanaka uses in order to address Hiranyaka. He is meeting him for the first time. He has not even met him. He has not even seen him at all. He has only observed what Hiranyaka did to Chitragriva, the king of pigeons. Now, Hiranyaka had already entered into his bilam. He has already entered there. Now, Laghupatanaka is standing outside the bilam, and he's calling him, Yehi, yehi, bho Hiranyaka, yehi. Please come out, Hiranyaka. Please come outside. Your friend is waiting for you. That's a very bold approach, isn't it? First and foremost, he is calling him by the name. He could have called him by his form. He's in the form of a mushaka. He's in the form of a mouse. So he could have called him by that form. Or he could have used a person who stays inside the bilam. That seems to be the most appropriate word to use when you don't know the person's name, because you have not heard the person's name from the person himself. You have only heard it from somewhere else. How do you approach? And these are the kind of things that Panchatantra teaches us. When you are pressing for a friendship, This is not desperatism. This shows confidence. This shows that I am going to end up making friends with you no matter what. That's how you begin a conversation. Yehi bho Hiranyaka, yehi. He was, for a second, Hiranyaka was astonished. Like, you know my name? Like, kimanyo pikaschit kapoto bandhana sheshas tishtati. Is there any other pigeon who is stuck, whom I did not free, whom I did not help to escape? Is it a pigeon who is calling me again? He was surprised because immediately after Chitragriva and his party left, some other person is calling you. So Hiranyaka was like, did I leave anybody out? Did I not help escape every single pigeon of them, every single one of them? Okay, so maybe I should ask. So he did not come out. Hiranyaka did not come out. A classic lesson that we all were taught as young children, as young people, as children, we were taught at home that never open the door, isn't it? Never open the door. Speak to them behind the door. Ask them, who are you? When they knock on the door, don't open the door. Ask them, who are you? What do you want? So the exact same thing, Hiranyaka said, Ko Bhavan, who are you? And Laghupatanaka introduced himself. I am Laghupatanaka and I am a crow. I am a raven. Oh. And he took, drastically, Hiranyaka's voice changed. He was like, you said your name is Laghupatanaka. I was okay with that. Up until that point, I was okay with you having this conversation. But the moment Laghupatanaka said, I am a crow, the author describes that Hiranyaka, in his own home, took a few steps back, said, hold on a minute. Could you please leave this place? I am not comfortable with your stay, is what Hiranyaka said. Look at the politeness in the words. He said that, could you please leave? It's like, I have come to you with an enormous job. Like, I have plenty of things to discuss with you. I have a very important, a pressing issue to discuss with you. And here you are sending me away. Why? Why are you not giving me an audience? Why are you not meeting me face to face? I am here with an important proposal and you are just shooing me away. Why are you doing this? So Hiranyaka responds. He says that I don't have anything to gain by talking to you or meeting you or looking at you. I have nothing to gain from you. So would you please leave? Okay. Right. He understood that I need to be more specific. So Laghupatanaka comes back. He never gives up. You have to observe. These are some of the skills that Viṣṇuśarma is teaching the kids. He's teaching the young princess that this is how you persuade someone for a friendship. Laghupatanaka could have, oh, you hurt my ego. How dare you tell me go back? Even though you asked me to leave politely, I'm hurt. My ego is hurt. How dare you disrespect me? What disrespect? You want the friendship or not? If you want to have the friendship, then you should be able to make it happen. Look at the way Laghupatanaka makes it happen. Then he goes and says that, oh, see, I saw you helping Chitragriva, and I was mightily impressed with your work. And I have become a fan of your intellect, of your clever nature. And this is the reason why I want to be friends with you. So that in future, if at all I get caught in a trap, I would have you as my friend to help me escape. Future planning, being prudential. This is the meaning of the word prudence, isn't it? Not being averse to any dangers in future. Laghupatanaka is prudential. Absolutely brilliant. If I get caught in future, I want you also to help me out to escape. That's why I want to be friends with you. Now, Hiranyaka wants to put an end, wants to conclude this conversation because he's not comfortable with this conversation at all. Since the starting, he's not comfortable. So he says that you are an eater and I am your food. You are bhokta and I am your bhojya. Okay. It means that I am your food. If I step out, what's the guarantee that you are not going to kill me and eat me? Naturally, we are enemies. You are always supposed to eat me. And what if you end up eating me? Isn't it? So you have not taken that into consideration. Of course, why would you? You are the hunter. The hunter never takes all these things into account. But I am the prey. I am the one who is going to get hunted. Therefore, I have to worry about my dear life. Therefore, I am not coming out. So this friendship, my dear friend, my dear Laghupatanaka, is not going to work. Because you can't make friends with your hunter. A person who wants to kill you, you cannot be friends with them. Now I'm going to give this line a pause, and I want you to think. You can never make any sort of diplomatic relationships with any country, with any empire whose ideology is total domination. Now he puts forth the rules and regulations. He reminds Laghupatanaka. He says, Hiranyaka says that Yayoreva samam vittam, mark these words. Yayoreva samam vittam. Only those two people can be friends who have equal income. Right? Yayoreva samam kulam. Only those two people can be friends who are born in the same level of society. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong on so many counts in today's world, isn't it? Because this is not how we have imagined friendship. We think that friendship happens for many other reasons. I'm not judging anybody. This is not a judgment about anyone. But this is the truth that has been taught to the princess. Moving on. Tayor maitri vivahasya. This is not just about maitri. This is not just only about friendship. Even the vivaha, even the marriage needs to happen between two equal people. Right. We all know that, isn't it? We all know that, and we have witnessed the mishaps over several centuries when it is done in different statuses. Okay, moving on. Natu pushta vipushtayoho. He puts it forth as a person who is prosperous and a person who is who's a pauper, and you can't put a prosper and a pauper together. You can't bring them together. They need to be of the same status, both in terms of wealth and in terms of birth. Okay. And what happens to those people who make friends with those who are not of the same status? Okay. They will lose their life. Eventually, they will end up losing their life. So it says what kind of friends you have reveals plenty about you. Therefore, gamyatam, please leave. Now, Laghupatanaka responds. He says that, see, I am not leaving this place. Here I am seated at the entrance of your bilam. If you wish, you can come out and meet me and greet me, and we can have a talk. We can have a dialogue. But I am not leaving this place. Probably never at all. If at all I have to leave this place, it would be my dead body that people would be carrying it out, because I am going to stay here as long as I breathe. That's how much I value your friendship. These are not some rosy words. These are not some fancy words that are told. Of course, people have reduced diplomacy to fancy words, but anybody who is into all these kind of political diplomacy thing, they would understand. They would simply carve these kind of rosy words out. And he means it. Athava prayopaveshanam me syat. I shall stay here and fast unto death, he said. Hiranyaka was surprised. Why can't you understand the point? Why are you not getting the point? I and you are not meant to be friends. I and you are enemies. We are like, born enemies, natural enemies. Okay. Now, Laghupatanaka responds. See, I don't understand your logic at all. You have not even seen me once. You have not even taken a look at me. And how can you say that you are dismissing the proposal even without looking at, even without reading the fine print? Read the fine print, na? You come out of your bilam, take a look at me, have a conversation with me, then you decide for yourself. He said, Hiranyaka says, I think you are very naive in terms of friendship. You are being very stubborn, right? You don't understand the rules of enmity, rivalry. Rivalry is of two types. What are those two types of rivalry, two types of enmity? The first one is called as sahajam. Second one is called as kritrimam. What do you mean by sahajam vairam and kritrimam vairam? He explains, Kritrimam Vairam, you are my Sahaja Vairi. I mean, for a mouse, the crow is a natural enemy, a Sahaja Vairi. And then there is something called as Kritrima Vairam. Now, what happens with Kritrima Vairam is, with good behavior over a course of time, the Kritrima Vaira, the artificial enmity that was there, the animosity that was there, it will fade away. It will move away. And this happens only with an artificial enmity, the enmity that has been created by ourselves, right? For some reason, if I am an enemy, if I am considering somebody as an enemy for a particular reason, then if that particular reason can be washed out by doing plenty of good, by repenting for it, then that sort of enmity ceases to exist. But then there is another kind of enmity, which is a natural enmity. that also fades away, that also goes away, but there is a price to pay for that. What is the price that one needs to pay in order to take away the natural enmity? Life. The natural enmity ends only by paying our life, only by giving our life. So I don't want to give my life in order to be friends with you. Now, Laghupatanaka says that, see, it's, can you elucidate on this? Can you explain it a bit more? Can you give me some examples of natural vairam, natural enmity? He gives plenty of Nakula Sarpanam. Who doesn't know about the mongoose and the snake? Okay, and then Shashpabhum Nakhayudhanam. And Nakhayudha means the animals which have long nails, and animals with soft skin. They are easy targets for them. And Jalavanhyo, are they not naturally rival to one another? Jala is water and Vanhi is fire. Likewise, Deva Daityanam, Sarameya Marjaranam. Dogs and cats, they don't like each other. And Ishvara Daridranam. Ishvara here refers to not Parameshvara. Ishvara refers to a wealthy person and a pauper. And Sapatnina, wives. That's all. Wives. If a man has many wives, then those women amongst each other don't like each other. And Simha Gajana, the enmity, which is very popular, which we call it as Gajakesari. Gajakesari is one of the yogas, isn't it? Gajakesari yoga. People have always understood that to be in a very good context. Like, in my horoscope, the astrologer told me that I have Gajakesari yoga. Oh, wonderful. Oh, what a pity, because Gaja and Kesari means a lion. Gaja means an elephant. Elephant and lion in a jungle are natural enemies. There is always a conflict for power between them, right? Okay. And likewise, he gives plenty of examples. Now, Laghupatanaka says, I agree with every example that you gave, but I feel that it is without any sound logic. Because, listen to me, he says that friendships and enmity are always man-made. They are man-made because they happen due to some reasons. Only reasons, strong reasons, enable one to admit somebody to be their friend or somebody to be their enemy. So there is no such thing called as natural enmity. This is what he is trying to disprove. Vayasa, that is Laghupatanaka, the crow, is trying to disprove the theory of Hiranyaka that there are no natural enemies in the world. Vayasa is that liberal that we all have in our group, isn't it? Who tries to tell us that this is all because of socialism. Enmity exists only in our mind. It's something that the society has created. That's what he said. When we have a choice, we should always opt to make friends in life, not make an enemy out of anybody. Now, Hiranyaka said that Hiranyaka is a wise fellow. He always has a good answer, a decent, a strong answer for everything that Laghupatanaka is throwing at him. He said that it's like, even if a person has showed rivalry, or he has showed that kind of animosity towards you even once in your life, you should never make friends with them at all. And if you think that 100 good qualities can take away the natural enmity that exists between two beings or two creatures, you're mistaken, my friend. There were so many people who were rich in terms of good attributes. They were learned people. They were an asset to the entire world. And yet, they were all killed by none other than the animals, because that kind of enmity exists between man and animal. He gives an example. Simho Vyakaranasya Karturaharat Pranan Priyan Paninehe. The great Panini, the greatest ever grammarian, a lion killed him. Such a pity, isn't it? For such a great grammarian to die at the hands of a lion. He was not the only one. There was another great sage called as Jaimini, who was the author of Jaimini and Nyayamala, the Mimamsa Sutras, the 12 chapters. Hasti Munim Jaiminim Sahasa. Hasti, an elephant, killed Jaimini. And there was Pingala Acharya, who is known as the Acharya for Chandas, and he was killed by a crocodile, a Makaraha. So it's quite clear that Ajnana and Jnana cannot be friends. What is the backtone? What is the undertone of this particular shloka? Saying that you are speaking like a foolish fellow. When you say that, when you dismiss outright that natural enmity does not exist at all in this world, and enmity and friendship happen only because of some reason, some causes. And when the life offers you, you should always choose to be friends with people. And you can fool the entire world, my dear Laghupatanaka, but you cannot fool a wise man like me, because ajnana and jnana cannot be together. If that were the case, if natural enmity did not exist, and if you understood the value of the other person, see what the whole time Laghupatanaka was trying to put the onus on the fact that he values Hiranyaka. Therefore, Hiranyaka in return must value their friendship. Now, Hiranyaka has plenty to lose, whereas Laghupatanaka has only to gain. Now, you see the mathematics now, you see the balance now, how it is tilted towards Laghupatanaka. Now, he is trying his level best. This is how you defend your honor, your swarupam, your identity must be protected, like how Hiranyaka is defending. I said that if the world understood the value of a person, like, was Panini not valuable to the world? Was Pingalacharya not valuable? Was Jaimini not valuable? If they were valuable to the world, if you admit to the fact that they were valuable to the world, then how come they were all killed by these animals? Therefore, it's their natural tendency to kill somebody, because they have long nails, they have power, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Therefore, they want to kill the easy targets. They don't want to fight. Do you think, even though there is a strong enmity between the lion and the elephant in the jungle, you don't see them go head to head every single day? They don't fight because they want to survive. And in order to survive, they are going to kill somebody who is weaker than them. They're not going to fight somebody who is stronger than them or who is equal to them. Therefore, it is quite understood. It should be understood by everyone that natural enmity exists. But still, I think you are giving a wrong analogy here, Hiranyaka. I'm sorry to say this, but you are giving a wrong analogy here. You're talking about animals and human beings. You can't put both of them together in one place. They can never be friends. I agree with the fact. But you have to observe one more thing. See, he simply drives a weld into the minds of human beings. Let us get this fact correctly in our mind, then we will realize, well, what is the root of all our friendships. Upakaracha lokanam. For human beings, what is the root of friendship? What is the root cause of friendship? Upakara, help. If you have helped somebody, then you become friends with them. If you don't help them, you are never a friend. Try this. Try this with anybody you want to experiment with. Don't help them, even when they ask you 10 times in a course of 6 months. All you have to give them is a 6 months time. And if they do not come good in 6 months, would you value their friendship? Would you keep them as friends in your list? I don't think so. That's not how human tendency works. Upakara chalokana. This is how upakara is the crucial factor that brings human beings together, that binds human beings together. And for animals and birds, nimitta. What do we mean by nimitta? Nimitta means that they must have a strong reason for friendship, out of desperation, like how he asked for some help. Like, in future, if I get into trouble, I want you to help me to get rid of that. Therefore, obligation, that is the word. The friendships happen between animals due to obligation. Friendships happen between human beings due to helping each other out. And bhaya lobhacha murkhanan. Even foolish people make friends. But do you know how foolish people make friends? Out of fear or out of greed. So there goes 90% of our friends, out of fear or out of greed. We were all friends with, we still follow them, and they follow us. On our Facebook, on our Instagram, we have plenty of followers. 500 followers for one person. I think I myself have around 1,000 followers. If I have to list them down, they would all come down to 20 to 25 who are meaningful. The rest of them, I don't know why they are following me. I don't know why I am following them back. You see the mathematics here, you see the arithmetic here. That's how everybody is. I'm not free from all this. I'm not a hypocrite to say that I speak only the right things and I do the only right thing. No, I'm also in the same ship as all of us are. So this is how all of this. And last one, there is another one that he says that maitri syad darshanat satam. Only by the look of a person, you become friends with them. That happens with Satpurushas. That happens with great people, great men. like Krishna, like Rama, right? Not our kind of great people. No. One needs to discount these things. Now, if we list the reasons that have been told, fear, greed, vision, just a view, and obligation, as well as help. These are the 5 important aspects on which a friendship is determined. Why is he giving all these things? Because in diplomacy, when you have to have a relationship with another empire, another country, these are the things that one must consider. You understood? And how beautifully, in the midst of the story, look how Viṣṇuśarma has added this fact. So it gives you a clear-cut indication that if you are going to make friends with somebody out of greed or out of fear, to which category you belong? You belong to the category of foolish people. If you do it out of obligation, you are no less than an animal or a bird. If you do it for the help, for the sake of help, you are still a man. But if you do it for the sake of, you looked at them and you understood that he is divine, then you have done it correctly. It's very difficult. Moving on. He said that there are some exceptions. He gives a beautiful example. Laghupatanaka is not admitting the defeat that easily. He is not going down without a fight. So he says that, say, have you observed the shadow of a man, of yourself? Observe your shadow. Like what happens is in the first half of the day, it is longer and then slowly it reduces. But in the afternoon session, it is smaller and then it increases. Right? Arambha Gurvi Kshayini Kramena. In the Purvardha, in Dinasya Purvardha, in the first half of the day, our shadow is always longer and then it decreases. But in the second half of the day, our shadow is smaller and then it grows. That's why I know during 5:30, somewhere around 5:30, we would look that tall. And we would have grown like that. And that's the example. That's the analogy that I think locked in Hiranyaka. And he had to admit that what a brilliant fellow Laghupatanaka is. Hands down. What a beautiful analogy he has come up with. He said that Dinasya Purvardha Parardha Dhinna. Like how the shadow in the same day, in the first half of the day, the shadow behaves in a different way. In the second half, it behaves in a different way. So he said that Chayeva Maitri, just like the shadow, even the Maitri, the friendship is also like that. What is it? Khala Sajjanana. When you make friendship with the wrong people, they are very strong initially and slowly it depreciates. It goes down. It's all downhill from there. But whereas when you make friends with good people, it starts off with a very small stream and then it grows stronger and stronger. It grows bigger and bigger. He's coming to the point that I admit that I am your natural enemy, but still, give me a chance. Give me an opportunity. I will prove that I am worthy enough to be your friend. This is how you convince people. Masterful, absolutely masterful. And he was able to withstand the wisdom of Hiranyaka. He was able to convince the wise Hiranyaka. That takes some effort. Laghupatanaka, hands down. That's sadhuraham. Therefore, I am not a khala, I am not a vanchaka, I am not somebody who is going to dupe you or I'm not going to kill you. How about we make an arrangement? He said that I'm going to do plenty of shapathas, plenty of pratignas, terms and conditions. You don't believe in my friendship? Let's come to an agreement, a legal agreement. Oh, I love this thing. When the words of mortal men were not sufficient enough to bind 2 countries, 2 kingdoms together in a pact, people invented law. They said, you are legally bound. Hey, what happened to the age-old tradition of pran jai par vachana na jai? Raghukul reet sada chali aayi, pran jai par vachana na jai. Where did that go? It vanished out of nowhere into thin air. It vanished. In the same land, I can't believe we have so many bloody courts these days who dictate us if I go wrong. Where is we need to dig deeper, isn't it? Is it the same land? Is it on the same land that we are going to celebrate on January 22nd next year? Building of a temple. For what purpose are we building? What are we going to gain from that? If we are not going to inculcate this one thing that Rama stood. When Kaikeyi tried to press him, that, hey, you are delaying, right? Why are you not leaving? That was her idea. That was the undertone that Kaikeyi had. Out comes Rama. He says that Naham Arthaparo Devi, Lokamavastu Mutsahe. Don't take me for a common man who has come here in this world to live out of greed. Vidhima Mrishabhestulyam. I am like a sage, right? I'm just seeking the permission from my mother and I am leaving. I am not turning against my own word. I have given you my word. I shall leave means I shall leave. Rest assured. be assured, that's Rama for you. We don't celebrate this kind of Rama on Ramanavami. We don't celebrate this kind of Rama in Ram Janmabhoomi. We just want the name. You know? We just want the name of Jai Shri Ram. Of course, I bloody love the name Rama. Who doesn't? I love it. But like, for what purpose? This should be the essence of Rama, isn't it? If this is not one of the essence of Rama, then why are we even talking about him? Okay, so, sorry, this is not Ramayana. This is not a discussion forum on Rama. We are back to Panchatantra. So he says that I will make plenty of shapathas, shapatha grahanam, right? Shapatha grahanam of the crow. We all know why the decision-making place in our country is called as parliament. You know, a group of owls is called as parliament, isn't it? And they can't see in the day. They are averse to daylight. The daylight is governed by the sun. Historically, our country has been the worshippers of fire, the sun. We all were sun worshippers. And in the great land of sun worshippers, the highest room of governors is called as parliament. How ironic. Yeah, moving on. Shapathai, he said that I'm going to make plenty of shapatha. If you don't believe me, you have my word. Hiranyaka laughed at him. One last try Hiranyaka is making. He said that, do you think I'm going to believe any of the words that you are going to speak? No. Nobody should trust anybody. Maybe this is the reason, people might be thinking, maybe this is the reason why you have very few friends in your life. I don't care. I would happily trade all of them. If I'm going to gain Atmajnanam, I'm happily going to trade all of them. Who cares about them? That's not the point. I was just joking. The point here is, he makes it very clear, Nati Vishwaset, because we must not forget, this is not a debate that is happening between a crow and a mouse. We are not taking sides. We are here to learn the tenets of Arthashastra, how they are hidden. Now, immediately when somebody speaks like this, now imagine the role reversal. Now, so far, I have been telling you that we must appreciate Laghupatanaka's effort in order to establish a friendship because he has plenty to gain. And we also appreciated Hiranyaka's defense. But just imagine if you are in the place of Hiranyaka, at what point would you have been broken? It's like a tennis match, isn't it? Roger Federer versus Rafael Nadal. It's going on. Fifth set, tiebreaker. It's going on. End to end. So at what time would we have broken down? We would have broken down when he said so many things. When he gave that first statement, oh, I'm impressed by your intellect. Is it? Let us be friends. Let us click a selfie. You idiot fellows. That's not how you make friends. I'm sorry. I mean, sometimes it comes out. But when we take a look at the learning from the perspective of Hiranyaka as a governor, as an administrator, tomorrow I have to decide the fate of an entire nation, and that rests on my shoulders. And when I have to take the decision, I have to be strong. And how am I going to be strong? These are the things that are going to help me. Where he says that you should never trust anyone blindly. A king must never trust anyone blindly, period. And there are no amendments to this rule. There are no exceptions to this rule. No other rule can overrule this particular rule. That's how strong it is. Every single Arthashastrakara has reiterated this equivocally. They all have said that Nati Vishwaset. One must not trust anybody. If you are going to be the king, if you are going to rule, if you are going to govern one day, then you should learn this, that you must not trust. Now, I want you to note down 3 important points as proposed by 3 of the greatest minds in Arthashastra in our country. First one is Viṣṇugupta. Second one is Brihaspati. Third one is Shukra. Shukraniti, Shukracharya. Brihaspati is Devaguru. Shukra is Asura Guru. And Viṣṇugupta is Manava Guru. The guru of all mankind, Chanakya. Right. What have they talked? What have they told? What is their opinion about friendships, about these sort of political relationships? Very quickly, he said that good action. Viṣṇugupta says that good action, right? And then mitrasaṃprāpti bhārgavasya. By hook or crook, get a friend. This is what Shukra says. Kautilya follows the middle path. Kautilya says that sukrityam, take only the good from them, right? Make a pact with them, but only for the good part. Don't make a complete pact with them. It's very difficult to follow. Whereas Shukra, on the other hand, says that mitrasaṃprāpti, you should get acquainted with friends. End of the discussion. And Brihaspati says, distrust, not putting absolute confidence in anyone. Now, do you know what is the trademark style of Arthashastra? The trademark style of Arthashastra is they present you with contradictory statements. And at the end of it, they say that none of these statements are false. It means all these statements are true. That goes on to show that one who has to take decisions must be wise enough. This is how you train children. This is how you train young people. In the midst of the story, he has put in such an important lesson for the rest of their life. Just remember these three aspects. How easy is it to remember? Sukrityam, mitrasaṃprāpti, and avishvasaha. Three aspects that a governor, a ruler, an administrator must always heed to, must always attend to. He must always keep these three things in mind. I will just revise it again. The first one is sukrityam. Second one is mitrasaṃprāpti. Third one is avishvasaha. This is called as niti sandhi, the technical term. So your policy should incorporate all three aspects. What a brilliant thing is it, isn't it? I mean, I am impressed with Panchatantra. This is Panchatantra for you. Not the simple story of a crow and a mouse having conversation. That is not Panchatantra. This is Panchatantra. Okay, well, he said that, "So baat ki ek baat." Let me tell you the gist of life. You seem to be a good person. Let me tell you a gist of life which will help you in other aspects of your life as well. Mahata Pyartha Sarena. No matter how good a person is, if you end up trusting blindly your enemy, your natural enemy, if you end up trusting your natural enemy, tadantam tasya jeevitam. Consider that you died that day when you trusted your enemy. That is the day you died. Finished. He gave up. Laghupatanaka did not have any other words. He said that, aho, buddhi pragalbhyamasya niti vishaya. I mean, even I don't have a counter for this. Just take a look at his intellect. How intelligent is he? How wise is he? Look at the way he has formulated his argument, articulated his argument, hands down. Athava, I think this is the reason why I was so impressed of him, and this was the reason why I wanted to be friends with him. Now he used a trick, an age-old trick that even you can use. You have to be very careful. You have to keep all your sense organs at the peakest level possible. He says that, Hiranyaka, I completely agree with you. I mean, no words for your intellect. Va bhai va, maan gaye. But let me tell you something. Satam saptapadam maitram. Note this down. This is important. How do you determine the friendship of two good people? Very simple. Saptapadam maitram. Maitram, friendship, is determined by saptapadam. If you take a walk, if you walk with a person 7 steps, they become your friends for life. This is the reason behind introducing that saptapadi in mostly in South Indian marriages. You will find, I'm not sure if it exists in North Indian marriages. I have not seen many. So that saptapadi, the idea of saptapadi is, you walk 7 steps with the person, you become friends with them. Beware with whom you walk 7 steps. And then there is another meaning for the word saptapadam, and it is mind-blowing. Prepare yourself, brace yourselves. Saptapadam does not only mean that if you take 7 steps with a person, you become friends. No, if you speak, if you exchange 7 words with them, you become friends. Hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'm also doing great. What's up? 7 statements. For anybody to become friends, all you need is 7 good questions. Work on that. This is the line, or maybe this is the key to unlock the potential of political dialogues. I rest my case. How to bring home any diplomatic relation? 7 words. That's all. Keywords should always be 7. There is some significance for that. You have the statement here with you. Satam saptapadam maitram. So if you use 7 proper words, 7 keywords are enough to make friends with someone. Therefore, we have spoken. And if you roll back, if you hear the this class again, just go back. How many times did they exchange their conversation? And you will get to know why he used the word at this point. 7 exchanges between them. The debate, it was, as I said, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. Tasmat tum mitrasaṃprāptah. So inevitably, you have become my friend now. because we have exchanged 7, the conversation has gone into 7 rounds. Vachanam mama tachrunu. Therefore, listen to me. This is the condition that I'm going to lay down, because I don't want to invade your privacy. I don't want to hurt your strong feeling or the prerogative that you have. I don't want to change that. Tvaya saha nityameva alavaha. All I want from you is a conversation, that's all. Subhashita katha. A good conversation with you. That's all I'm seeking from you. You don't have to come out. You don't have to walk with me. We don't have to pose for Instagram. Nothing. All I seek from you is a good, decent conversation that involves good things. Okay? And you keep on doing this. You stay in your bilam. You don't have to come out of your home. And I'll stay outside here. And we can have this sort of conversation. It's fine. It is fine. Like how I am having conversation with so many other people who have turned off their video. This is indirectly what I'm telling them. You keep your videos off. I'm having a conversation with you. You can trust me later on. Like, what else can I say? Because all my words have failed. So this is the last resort that I have. Thanks to Panchatantra, it has helped me to say that you keep on turning off the video. You don't appear in front of me. Listen to me, and then when you gain trust, you can come out. You can show yourself. Hiranyaka says that he is really good, and he seems to be speaking the truth. Bhadra evam bhavatu. Agreed, signed and delivered. So Hiranyaka finally says that fine, done. And from that day onwards, they became good friends, absolutely good friends. And immediately, like how quickly the story moves and how quickly their friendship grew is that parasparam kritopakaru kalam nayatah. They started initially with speaking, and then it ended up with Laghupatanaka bringing food to Hiranyaka. So what are the 6 aspects of friendship, or how do you determine that he is a friend or somebody is a friend? Now, I want you to take these words, take these verbs and apply it, like, magnify it for a nation, for an empire. Dadati. First and foremost, you must give something. If you go for a political dialogue empty-handed, it's never going to work. Now, he had something to offer. Laghupatanaka had something to offer. That was protection. That was good food, because it's very difficult for the mouse to find food. It's very difficult. So he said that I will help you out. Dadati and pratigrinhati. It's not like you are only supposed to give and you are not ready to receive it. If you are going to give, then you should be able to receive it as well. Whatever they give, you should be able to receive it. Dadati pratigrinhati. And then guhyamaakhyati. They share their secrets. You should be able to share your secrets with them, and they should be able to share their secrets with you. Prichati. This is how mergers happen between 2 big companies. You show your books to them, and they show their books, account books, not diary, not their personal diary. They show their account books to each other. That's how mergers happen. Like guhyamaakhyati, prichati, bhungte. You eat what they bring to you, and bhojayate chaiva. And you feed them as well. So a good political diplomatic relation between 2 countries should have an import-export aspect. There should be exchange of food grains in one part, in one way or the other. Like if we are growing something in abundance, then we are going to send that to them. And if they are growing something in abundance, they are going to send it back. Barter system should be there. Barter system has not gone away. It still exists. We call it as trade, commodity trade. That's all. Commodity. Guhyamakhyati prichati. All of this in a storybook. Can you imagine that? That is our country for you. That is the brilliance of our people. What an intellectual person. I mean, it's mind-blowing to imagine, even to just imagine the genius of Viṣṇuśarma. Incredible. And he says that as long as there is this exchange of things between 2 people, friendship sustains, friendship survives. The moment you stop giving something to someone, the friendship ends. We don't believe this. We are friends for life. No, you are not. You are not friends for life. You are bound by mutual benefits. That's all. And what is the shame in admitting to that fact? I help you and you help me out. Why is it so wrong? Why do people take this as some sort of a wrong thing? I have never understood that. And because I have tried to speak these kind of things with the so-called friends as well that I have. And always they respond back saying that this is utter nonsense. You have no feelings at all. You have no sensitivity at all. You are not sensitive. You are emotionless. You are heartless. Why should you bring the bloody heart into this? Let the heart do its job. Its job is to pump the blood. If the heart doesn't pump blood, I won't live. Let the heart do its job. Let us, with intellect, work out, pan out how we are going to remain friends. Why is it a bad thing? When people start speaking, when two best friends start speaking like this, they think that you treat this as a business deal. Why is there a stigma? Why is a taboo around business, around the term business? Why is it viewed as something corrupt? It is not. I admit that many people have made it corrupt. That doesn't mean that the school of business is corrupt. The idea of business is corrupt. The exchange of benefits is not corrupt. Did not Krishna tell the same thing in Bhagavad Gita when he said in the 3rd chapter, sorry, Devan bhavayatanena, te deva bhavayantu vaha, parasparam bhavayantaha, shreyah paramavapsyata. Chapter number 3, you can go and search, I think shloka number 12 or 13. I'm not sure about the exact shloka, but chapter number 3, it says that the idea of yajna, living in the idea of yajna, you should be able to offer something to the gods, and in return, gods will offer you something. And with this mutual exchange of benefits to one another, live prosperously. Are you considering this as heartless? Do you consider these words of Krishna as heartless? Just look at the hypocrisy of human beings. Mind-blowing, right? So children usually get away from mothers when she stops producing the breast milk. The child remains very much attached, very much akin to the mother as long as she has something to offer. He's speaking not in terms of a human child and a mother. They are speaking in terms of a cow and a calf. Now you can admit, you can agree, because this is natural for them. In the animal world, it is natural. And the same thing is applicable to human beings as well. Moving on. So Kim Bahuna, what else there is to say? So this is such a great thing that we eventually ended up looking at the friendship, forging of the friendship between a mouse and a crow who are naturally enemies. They ended up being friends, and their friendship grew stronger day by day. As I said, Lagri Pura, Vridhimati Chapascha. As day passed, they became very thick friends. One fine day, there came a shocking news. And look at the way they react. Okay, no emotion, no tears, nothing. No farewell party, no, nothing. So Laghupatanaka came to Hiranyaka one day and he said that, Hiranyaka, listen, I'm leaving this place. I'm done with this place. I have had enough of this place, so I'm leaving. Now, Hiranyaka asked Laghupatanaka, what is the reason? Why are you leaving? He said that, see, there is a drought here. This time of the year, it has been a long drought, and I don't think I can survive here anymore. The water bodies are vanishing, and the hunters are gathering, and they have laid, as far as my intelligence goes, I have heard from reliable sources that they have laid down a massive trap to capture as many birds as they can. And I don't want to be their food. So I am trying to run away from this place. I'm leaving this place. Okay, fine. I understand, but I value our friendship. So I do feel like my tears are flowing down, and I'm leaving you. Okay. Hiranyaka is not a very emotional person. He's a wise man. Wise men don't cry. Okay. Earlier they used to say that men don't cry. No, men cry. Wise men don't cry. That's all. Okay. So because they know wisdom prevails. No. When do we cry? When wisdom doesn't prevail, when wisdom goes shopping, that's when we cry. But when wisdom prevails, every person is the same. They don't cry. Okay, moving on. So Hiranyaka asked, where are you headed? Where are you going? And he said that in the southern part of our country, there is something called as, there is a huge a pond is there. A massive pond is there. And I'm headed towards that place. I'm going there. And I have a friend there. It's not just I'm friends with only you. You're not exclusive. Okay, you're not the only BFF I have. I have other BFFs also. If it was anybody else from this era playing in the role of Hiranyaka, oh, the drama, I tell you, that would have unfolded. Nothing. Hiranyaka said, oh, okay, fine. I wish you best. You may leave. But even I want to leave this place because there is nothing left for me as well. And it's getting tougher and tougher for me to find food as well. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And also, if all the birds vanish, who is going to drop food? And if the food is not dropped, where am I going to find food? Because as you all know, the mice don't hunt. They are collectors. They are scavengers, basically. They don't even collect nuts and place it. They are scavengers. So they have to find the leftovers of other birds and other animals. And if all animals and birds are going to be killed or captured by hunters due to this extreme conditions of climate, then what am I going to do here in this place? If I don't find food, what is the point in staying in that place? It says that anavrishti hate deshe. No person should stay in a place that is hit by drought. See, for those people who are physically strong, nothing is heavier for a physically strong person. And for those who are very hardworking, no place is a faraway place for them. They can survive anywhere. And for those people who are well learned, who are well versed, nothing is an alien place. Nothing, no place on this earth is a foreign place for them. And for those people who have a sweet speech, nobody is an enemy for them. So he said that, I think I'm a good speaker. I have the wisdom. Therefore, I can survive in any place. That's the hint that the author is giving. So if you are well learned, if you are a good speaker, and if you are hardworking, and if you are physically fit, 4 important aspects to pay attention in life. Study well, learn how to speak properly, work hard, and be physically fit. If you pay attention to these 4 aspects, nothing is impossible for you in the world. Isn't it? And we may have to sit quietly for a few minutes and recall and just connect the dots with all the previous experiences that we may have had in our life. And then we will realize that this is so true, absolutely true. And then he said that scholarship and kingship, they cannot be compared with one another. Vidvatvancha nirupatvancha naiva tulyam kadacha. You cannot compare scholarship and kingship, because a king is respected only in his kingdom, whereas a wise man, whereas a scholar is respected everywhere in the world. If you are a true scholar, you can survive in any adversity. If you are not a good scholar, you will die like a moth. You will die like fly. It all comes down to that. So vidvatvam is, wisdom is above everything. If you are wise, you will survive. If you are not wise, you will die. That's it. So this is the case. Therefore, I have all these attributes. I have all these qualities. How about I accompany you to your new place? I shall also come with you. Is it okay for you if I accompany you? Now he said that, see, I don't have a problem if you come with me. I'm quite comfortable with you. But the thing is, I'm a person who takes the aerial path, aerial route. And you are the one who take the road. How are we going to meet? How are we going to take the same path? It will take many days for you to travel via road and reach the place that we are supposed to reach. How is it going to be possible for both of us to reach the same place? So he said that, see, don't worry. If you are going to promise me that you will protect my life at all costs, can you take me on a flight? I will climb on your back. I will sit. I will hold you tightly and I will sit on you. Can you fly me to that place? Okay. Now, this is a good proposal, but very dangerous one. One needs to take into account all those things. But since it was Laghupatanaka, now you realize what was the worth of having Laghupatanaka as a friend. It's only during the crisis you know who are your friends. The rest of them are only placeholders. Sorry to say this. They're only placeholders. Only when the true crisis hits your life, you realize who are your true friends. When you are happy, you will never get to know who is your friend. When you're rich with resources, everybody is your friend. When you are scarce with resources, that's when your true friends are revealed. So he had a crisis. Hiranyaka, such a wise fellow, Hiranyaka, had a crisis, which he has not revealed it to us yet, which he will in the upcoming stories, he will reveal us. But he is under some serious crisis. Therefore, he sought the help of a friend. So eventually, the friendship that was forged between two natural enemies, turned out to be a good one. It's an investment, isn't it? After all, the amount of time you put into a person, the amount of energy that you put in the conversations that you are going to have with the person, don't you think all of that effort, all of the time that you are investing should be rewarded? It should be. I mean, what's the harm in expecting that your effort should be rewarded? You have no problem in admitting to the fact that when you invest 10,000 rupees in a bank or in a market, you expect returns from that. And that is logical. But when you invest 60 minutes with a person, when you invest 90 minutes with a person, why is it wrong to expect some sort of reward from them? So Laghupathanaka says that he shows the confidence that I shall protect you. Don't worry, because I am trained in 6 types of flight. Interesting, isn't it? There are 6 types of flight. If you are interested, let us see. Now, shall we? So what are the 6 types of flight? And I think this is the right point to conclude today's session, and we can continue with what are the 6 types of flight in the upcoming session, and where are they headed, and what happens once they reach their destination. The friendship is growing. So what did we decide as today's takeaway lesson? Should we make friends? Should we not make friends? The only thing that should be taken away as the lesson from today's session is be cautious. Don't trust. You see, you understood that Niti Sandhi of 3 people? Sukrityam. Take only the good things. Mitraptihi. Always have a friend. At the same time, do not trust anybody blindly. 3 important lessons taken from Chanakya, Shukra, and Brihaspati. Combine them together. Ultimately, be cautious. That's all. And we also understood the key. The key to success is 7. I'm not a numerologist. No, this is common sense. Because Satam Saptapadam Sakhyam. A good friendship always rests on 7 vital questions. What are those 7 vital questions? It's for us to figure out. You ask 7 important things to people, and you will get to know, should you keep them as your friends, or should you kick them out? Okay, anyway, I'll conclude this session here.